All right. Not sure if you noticed, but there's a lot of numbers on TV today. So the last couple of days. So I thought it might be kind of fun to talk numbers. Specifically, presidential predictions, percent planning. That doesn't actually make a lot of sense, but it is an alliteration. That might be kind of cool, maybe. So, really interesting election, of course, because of the way things are set up this year in particular with mail-in ballots versus day of voting. I think everybody knows, most people know that, there's different percentages of people from the two different parties voting in those different ways. And then, of course, so many other factors. More people in the cities voting this way, more people outside the cities voting that way, so on and so forth. But there's still some fun math you could do to make some predictions, or maybe listen to the people on the TV tell you about it, but then you got to wait a little bit longer. So a lot of those states in the Rust Belt, definitely more seeming like more of a red mirage. Started off more Trump and then went Biden. Arizona, along with Ohio, maybe some other ones, seem to be, Ohio definitely, Arizona looks like an example of a blue mirage. Started off more Biden votes, and then as the votes are coming in around Phoenix, it's getting redder and redder. It's trending more towards Trump. So the main idea in my sloppy writing right here, you can figure out the percent that Trump needs, for instance, since he's behind right now, the percent that he would need in the remaining votes by figuring out what's Biden's lead, divide that by the remaining votes, and you'll be able to get the percent, and we can figure that out right now. So, the Biden lead, maybe they would give you that on the news, or you could do some subtraction. You see how much does Biden have, what does Trump have, subtract, you got 39,000, blah, blah, blah. Okay, current total, that's important as well. So you notice that this number is actually a little bit larger than if you just added these two together, because there are a couple other people running, getting, taken away maybe 1%, a little over 1% from the two main candidates. And then it says this is 95% of the predicted total. So maybe there's 5% left. That is tricky for them to know, exactly how much are coming in still. And that definitely affects the prediction, but, we'll do our best here. So these are the votes that have been cast so far. Again, maybe, on your phone, on the TV, it would say how many expected remaining there are. You might have to do the math, though. If that's 95%, you might say, okay, I know that's 95%, but there's 5% still out there. Percents out of 100, so subtract. If this is the 95%, okay, in actual votes versus the percent, you would line them up across from each other on this fun math tool called a proportion, because percents and the actual numbers are proportional. So they would be across from each other. The remaining is across from the 5. That's what we're trying to find. And then you could even look here and say, okay, well, I want to get the remaining. I want to find how many are remaining. So cross multiply. Oh, yeah, cross multiply. Little arrow right there, arrow right there. Keep it fair. Maybe I should have put a blue arrow. I'm so sorry. But that gets the remaining over here. The 5 comes over here. Actually, the 95 should go back down here as well. We can just interchange them. So the 95 slides down here. The 5 slides up here. So it's more like this huge number times 5 divided by 95. Weight could actually do a little shortcut on that, because 5 over 95, well, 5 goes into both of those numbers. So boom, change that to a 1. Change this to a, 19. 5 times 19 is 95. So it's really this big number, calculator, boom, boom, divide by 19. That's maybe the remaining. I've also seen numbers that are lower than that, numbers that are higher than that. Let's go with that. Okay, so if there's 165,000 and some remaining votes to be counted, you would again take what's the Biden's lead? Okay, this is what Trump wants to make up. Okay, that's the total number of votes that he needs. Total number of votes more than Biden. That sounded confusing. He needs maybe one more than this number to pass up Biden, right? there's this number left. So you would divide those because you're trying to see what portion of what's remaining is the amount that Trump needs to make up, okay, to catch up and then possibly surpass Biden's number of votes. So that would be 0.24 on the calculator, which is the same as saying 24%, okay? Now, this is another spot where it gets a little tricky, and maybe I'm fudging the numbers and the understanding a little bit, but if you think about it, if they both got 50%, then this amount right here would not change. The percent that Trump had would be a little bit higher, a little bit closer to Biden's, but the actual difference would not change if they both got 50%. Okay? So think about this 24% increase that Trump is hoping to get. We would actually think about splitting that in half, divide by 2, and take the 12% and add it to the 50%. 50 plus 12 is 62%. Okay, 12 above 50, and then Biden would be 12 below 50, and that would be a total of a 24% increase. Now, like I said, this is a little bit off for sure because there's like 1.5%, I think, maybe 2% that the other candidates are, the third and fourth candidate received. So maybe we're saying something like, in the remaining votes that I think are coming in a little bit, depending on when you do or do not watch this. If you're not watching this, I'm sorry. Maybe let's say he needs 60%. Of course, so many factors. Are they mail-in votes? Are they day of? What city? Blah, 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 blah. All these factors, of course, but math can definitely be used to understand it a little bit better.